Alright, what's up guys? It's One Way Up here, back with another YouTube video review. And in this video, I will be doing a quick review or walkthrough on the Jeep Cherokee. So this is the Jeep Cherokee, which is FCA's model for the crossover slash small SUV lineup. So this SUV competes with the Nissan Rogue, the Toyota RAV4, the Ford Escape, and other models like the Kia Sportage as well. So this is the limited model. As you can see, it says limited right there on the back. So this is a higher trim, and you do get better taillights with this model as opposed to the base model, which is good, and you do get the dual exhaust, which is also nice to have. Now another feature with this limited model is you do get these 19-inch 5-spoke rims right there, which look pretty nice. And I do like the two tones that they have with it. You have the chrome and then the brushed silver, so I do like this two-tone pattern that they have right there. And as far as the gas tank, is pushed to open from the outside, which is nice. I don't like having a button because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find the button. And the mirrors, they aren't automatic folding, but they can fold obviously. And you do also get LED headlights on this model, which is nice. And of course you get the signature Jeep grille, which is right here. Also fog lights as well. Now another cool thing about this model is that there is a light under the mirror. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. So when the car lights up at night, it does shine on the ground, so it does give you some extra illumination. And this is keyless because it is the limited model, so it is a push button. You can push to lock and unlock the door as well. And another great thing about FCA products is that if you have the key in your pocket, you can just put your hand right here and it'll automatically unlock, and then you can open the car. So here I'm giving you guys a quick look at the interior. This is black interior with black leather seats. Now stepping into the Jeep. Just close this door real quick. So here we do have the key. This car is push button start as well as remote start by double tapping the circle right there. Let me just turn it on for you. Now the seat does automatically slide into position after you turn on the car, which is a cool feature that I do with this Jeep. Now since the car is on and running, let me just pop the hood for you. Here. And I'll give you guys a look at the engine. So here, opening up the Jeep Cherokee. Now this car does have multiple engine options. It does have a base 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine which puts out about 180 horsepower. As you can see, this is their naturally aspirated 3.2 liter V6, which puts out about 271 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. So this Jeep with this engine option does have class-leading towing ability. You can tow up to 4,500 pounds, and this is mated to an 8-speed transmission, I believe. So now let me just give you guys a look at the exhaust. Okay, so back in the Jeep, I'm gonna just walk you guys through the features real quick. So there is automatic lights, of course. You do have your memory seating, so you can set your seating settings, which is nice to have. You do have automatic down and up windows for the driver and passenger, not for the rear passenger windows. These are your mirror controls right there. I do like that they do have this brushed silver look around the vents on both sides, and also I do like this this trim that they have going around the center vents and infotainment screen, which is nice. This is the steering wheel. Now this isn't the fully loaded highest trim model, but if it was, you would have your adaptive cruise control options right there, but instead this one is blanked out. But you do have your basic cruise control functions right here. These arrows are to control the center screen. You can change between your different menu settings for the vehicle, auto start settings, your trip info, fuel economy, all the basic things you need. But with this one, if you want to control the windshield wipers, you can just turn it and it gradually increases the windshield wiper speed. So I do like that it's simple. It's not as complex as traditional ones are. Well, they can be. Traditional ones can be a little bit complex, but overall, I mean, it's a pretty basic gauge. It's an analog gauge. It does have your digital screen display in the middle. Nothing really exceptional about it, but I guess the job done. You have your Jeep logo right here. I do like that Jeeps, they put since 1941 in their vehicles. They do it on their steering wheel, and in some parts of the Wrangler they do have that as well, which is cool. Definitely shows that it's a classic vehicle that they love, staying true to its roots. So moving over to the center, we do have the 8.4 inch Uconnect. Now this is one of the best infotainment systems you can get on the market right now. They've had it for a while now. They do make improvements to it, and it continues to look pretty modern and works well. Everything is easy to get to. You want to go to climate, you just hit it, it goes to climate. You do have your heated seats and heated steering wheel as well. You have your media, your radio, some basic apps. You can control your backup camera settings. Also, there is another screen that gets you to the seating controls if you don't want to worry about the temperature coming from the vents. You just want to adjust your seating settings and preferences. So moving down, hazards, you can take off the parking sensors if you like. Now with this engine, they do have an auto start stop feature. Now this Jeep isn't the most fuel efficient in its class, because you do have the Nissan Rogue with its 4-cylinder CVT transmission, which does give you better fuel economy, but at least with this one you do get more power and it does feel more fun to drive. But you do have an auto starts feature if you want to save some money on gas over time. It does have your analog climate controls here if you don't want to use the screen. I do like that they give you that option. This is your radio tune knob, your power and volume buttons for your media. And moving down here, you do have your selector, so you can switch your drive modes. You do have your auto mode, which is your basic standard mode. You do have a snow mode, a sport mode, and a standard mode. So I do like that Jeep gives you multiple different driving options, not just basic sport, but they do have like modes for alternative terrains that you may drive on. There's the parking brake. I do like this better than having a lever that most cars, other cars do have. But also, here's your gear selector. Now, one thing I do notice about this car is that in the center stack here, you don't get that much storage space up front. You do have a little slot right here, which doesn't really give you that much space to store things. You have your cup holders, which are right here, and you do have a little tiny slot where you can probably put your key or something, but you don't get much space up front. But one thing that Jeep does make up for their storage space with is their center armrests. So this is a dual layer center armrest. So right here we have the first layer, which is the smaller layer, but you do get a good amount of space here. And if you want to get to the second layer, you pull the bottom trigger and it opens up the second compartment, which you do get a lot of space. You have a USB port there, 12-volt power outlet, and I do also like that you get another USB port up front so you don't have to open the center. I find that a lot more convenient because some automakers, they only put the USB ports inside the center armrest. And another thing, you do get another 12-volt power outlet, which is nice, and an aux cable up front. So yeah, overall, I mean, I feel like it's set up pretty nicely. I do like the materials that they do have in this car. So it is soft touch here, and also on the armrest, which is great. I know other options, or should I say other manufacturers, you do get hard touch plastic. So it is nice to know that there is soft materials throughout a good amount of portions of this cabin. The seats are fairly comfortable. I wouldn't say they're as comfortable as other competitors in this class, but they are a little bit on the harder side, or should I say the firmer side. So that may be one thing that people may not like about this car, or if you're a bigger individual, you may not feel as comfortable in these seats. But for me, they're not terrible, but I do wish that the seats were a little bit softer. So now I'm going to step into the back, but before I do that, another thing that I do like about the Jeep is that you do have another compartment here for storage. So I do have a bottle of hand sanitizer in there. That's pretty much all the space you get. But it is nice to have that extra additional storage space. Okay, so being behind the wheel of the Jeep Cherokee, the steering wheel is stiffer than other vehicles in the segment. It does feel a little bit better to drive, like I said. Now, the only thing that issue that I have with this vehicle would be the seats. I do feel like the seats are a little bit on the firmer side, but I do like that they decided to go with a naturally aspirated V6, so you do get more power from this one as opposed to like a Toyota RAV4 or a Nissan Rogue. And also it does sound a little bit better, but I mean, the ride, it's solid, it's not too firm, and just overall it's a decent vehicle to drive. Now the fuel economy is definitely not great. It's probably the worst in the segment. I do wish that the fuel economy was a little bit better, but as far as like driving, you know, it feels comfortable. Visibility is pretty good. I mean, I think overall they did a solid job with this. I do like that there are different drive modes, so it's not just like auto and sport. You do also have like a rain mode for when the streets are wet. But yeah, the steering wheel feels nice. It's a nice leather wrap. The acceleration is good, like I said. I mean, overall, it's definitely a great car to drive. So now I'm going to step into the back seat and show you guys the rear legroom. So here's a look at the rear. Giving you guys a quick look. Now I'm sitting in the back. Now I did have my seat pretty far back, but you do get a decent amount of space back here. You do get your two vents. I do like that there's an actual outlet back here as well, in addition to you having two USB ports. So that is cool to have. Folding down to the armrest. In the back you do get two cup holders. But yeah, I mean, just wouldn't say this is a bad place to be in the back. You do have a couple dome lights right there on this side and that side. So that's pretty much it with the back. Isn't really much to say. I'm gonna stand out and show you guys the trunk. So I do like that the trunk is automatic, so it automatically opens. You can also do it from the key if you'd like. Now with the Jeep Cherokee, you do get about 25 or 26 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Now the Jeep Compass, which is like the little brother to this, it's a little bit smaller, but you do get more cargo space in that one, which is, I guess it's a little bit weird that they do give a little bit more cargo space to that version, but you do get a good amount in this one nonetheless. And these seats can fold down if you want to get additional space. It's 30-40 split. And just closing the trunk right there. It's fully automatic. So overall, the Jeep Cherokee, I feel like it's a great option in the small SUV and crossover segment. Now, compared to the other ones, it does have more power, but it is less fuel efficient. I do feel like the steering in this one feels better. You feel more connected to the road. But the other options do have this vehicle beat in storage capacity and fuel economy. But overall, the Jeep is definitely a solid option in the crossover lineup. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I have more videos coming on the way, and thank you for watching.